Okay, Ed Berryman from Lampeter Strasbourg joins us here. Lancaster Lebanon League Media Day here at LNP. Very nice to meet you, sir.
Good to meet you.
I'll tell you what, isn't this a great setup?
It really is. It's beautiful here.
I mean, how impressive is it? I mean, nobody's really ever seen in this building, and
Right.
LNP is, does such a great job.
Absolutely.
And wow, you come walking in here, and it's like you're walking into ESPN, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's quite a sight.
It is. It's impressive for the kids. I think that it's great for them to see that, wow, somebody like this, is covering me. I mean,
Right.
correct? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
important that these kids get attention,
They
right?
do. Yeah, you guys do a great job with that. We appreciate that.
So talk a little bit about the fact that, this has been the first real off-season or 365 calendar year that we've had in some time. So, how has that really affected your program in, basically getting ready for the regular season?
It's what we've been doing for the last few years. It is, we do something in the spring. We do spring open gyms, and then we do some summer leagues that we've participated in. And then even did a couple fall leagues this year, getting ready. So, so we're ready to play. It's something we're used to doing. You really have to put the time in to be ready for opening day.
Yeah, and you have 1 week less this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the coaches were surprised by that. I mean, when did that
Absolutely.
come down? I mean, was it late in the year that they decided to kind of crank things closer to the season?
Yeah, all I remember is my AD said we were going to be starting a week earlier, and I thought, okay, good, then we'll be pushing things up. She goes, no, we're still starting the Friday before Thanksgiving. I was like, okay, it doesn't give us much time.
Wow, yeah.
So-
I still wasn't aware of, what the rationale was behind that. But, hey, it is what it is. You're going to
Right.
put the uniform on. You're going to go out there and play. And talk a little bit about your team this year. I mean, how many seniors have you got, and how many returning starters have you got?
Well, we have basically one returning starter, Ben Wirt. Ben's worked incredibly hard in his game and has really improved his game, and he was very good last year. We have Luke Hines, who got a lot of playing time for us last year, along with Chase Smucker. So they came off the bench for us last year, so they've got some good experience. And we only have, we have three seniors now, because my one senior was Hunter Hildebrand. Told me yesterday that he has to get shoulder surgery, so he won't be able to play this year. So three seniors, but we've got some good juniors coming up, and some kids from JV last year, and we have probably a freshman who's going to get some varsity time.
So what are some of the things that you do as a coach, coming into a season? Obviously, you've got an off-season program or what have you, but to really create a team chemistry, not only between, you and your coaches, but all of your team.
Yeah, as coaching staff, we get together and make sure that we're prepared and everybody's on the same page. We have, a 2-day tryout on Friday and Saturday. From there, I sort of let Ed Burton, he's the junior high freshman coach. He sort of handles the 7th and 8th grade program. We just get right into it, with tryouts, and football finished up on Friday this year. So we had some kids come Saturday who didn't play. A couple kids were banged up, so they asked if they could come in Monday, and they had their tryouts then. So yeah, it's getting a lot of things together. Fortunately, our program, we've maintained a lot of the same offensive sets, so the kids are pretty familiar with that. And then we'll just put in some changes here and there.
Yeah, that's been kind of a reoccurring theme for LS over the last few years, is that the football team is kind of played deep into, the season, football season, and it affects basketball.
Right.
And so that's another thing, related to chemistry. These guys are
Right.
coming in. They haven't been there. Look, there's one thing playing football. There's another thing being in basketball shape, right?
Absolutely. I over the years, since we've been having so many opportunities here with the football players, that it takes about 3 weeks really for those guys to get in basketball shape.
Yeah, and for you, I mean, as a coach, for obviously all of your off-season items, and then you get the start of the season or whatever, at what point in the season do you kindly think like, hey, this is my group, where you kind of have figured out what your rotation is and, kind of divvied out playing time for each particular guy?
Yeah, I think this year that'll happen a little quicker than it did the last couple of years with football. So I don't really have a specific time frame, but you have a pretty good idea going into it, and also you want to give some guys some opportunities to prove themselves out on the floor.
What do you, as a head coach, find the most challenging part of, being a head basketball coach in this modern day environment of social media and, parents and everything else? What's the thing that's toughest for you?
I don't do much of social media, so I don't have a lot of experience in that, so I can't really talk to social media. But we really haven't had any challenges with that, to be honest with you. We usually have somebody, hopefully, doing our social media page, for LS basketball. But for me, it's always, along with coaching, you've got all the administrative stuff.
Sure.
So that's always a challenge to get all that information together and get it out and be prepared for the season.
And that's why you have to have a great coaching staff that you can delegate a lot of these coaching authorities. Talk a little bit about your coaching staff and their experience.
Yeah, Pete Kingsley's my JV coach and an assistant varsity coach. Pete's been a basketball coach for a lot of years, and he's a great guy. He knows defense, and I have him basically delegated that to him. I said, you handle the defense, you handle it in practice from that standpoint. And that's took me a little bit too long probably to do that, but now that I did it, I should have done it a lot earlier. But he's a very knowledgeable coach, and kids love him, and he works hard. And then we have Ed Burton, who's our freshman coach, and Ed focuses on the junior high program, but he's Ed's one of those guys. He'll finish up junior high 9th grade practice, and he'll come down and work with us, at the varsity level. So we appreciate his passion, for the program. And then we have another this year. For some reason, we weren't able to find a 7th grade coach, so we have another coach, Neil Kozer, and he's doing a great job for us. He's actually trying to do both, so I appreciate his efforts with that.
Wow, that's great. So what are your expectations for your team for the upcoming season?
My expectations are, this is the way we look at it, is our goal every year is to win the section. If you can win the section, and I think we have a chance to do that, there's going to be some tough teams in our section, but we're ready to play. If we can do that, that sort of lays the groundwork for everything else, right? That gets you into the league playoffs, and if you're winning your section, you're probably getting into districts.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's really our goals, and I told the kids, I said, my goals aren't changing from last year. Despite losing the 4 starters, I think we have a good nucleus here, and we can go there.
Well, listen, thank you very much. I
Thanks.
appreciate it. Whoop, we got that. But it's going to be a great season and a great kickoff here, and thanks for your time.